Hello friends, this is lesson number 8 in the series of Indian writing in English. And today, in this lesson, we shall discuss Manohar Malgonkar. He was born in the year 1913 and died 2010. Now, in the previous videos, as we have discussed several questions, we have frequently heard this name, Manohar Malgonkar. So, first thing about him that he was a hunter, a big game hunter, you can call him. And he was also a civil servant during the British rule. He was a lieutenant governor and not governor, okay, lieutenant in army actually. Yes, lieutenant colonel, you can say, sorry, lieutenant colonel. And he was also later a peasant or a farmer, not peasant, I should say, a big farmer. He was a tea planter and he was also involved in mine owning. So he was the owner of a mine. So there was a question as well regarding this about his personal life. So we shall discuss that later, but first we have some of the important works by him. The first work is Distant Drum. It was published in the year 1960. And this work talks about his experience in the army. As I mentioned that he was a lieutenant colonel in the army, so it was about his experience. So the main protagonist now, the character of this work is Lieutenant Colonel, okay, how to write this? Like this, okay. The name is Kiran. He is the main protagonist. So this work is based on his personal life or his own experience in the army. The next work, that is A Combat of Shadows. It is much like a love story, Combat of Shadows. So just remember that in this work we have the main character, Ruby Miranda. She is a girl, Ruby Miranda. And there is other, you can say, the male character, that is a female character, Ruby Miranda. And there is a Harry Winston or something like that. So remember just Ruby Miranda, she is a character in A Combat of Shadows, published in the year 1962. Then we have another work by him, The Princess, 1963. Nothing more about we should talk. And then the important work, that is Abandoned Ganges. In the previous videos there were several questions regarding this. So Abandoned Ganges. It is about two things. Okay, the first Gange, of course, it has something to say about the river Ganga, and also there is the term bend. Bend stands for, we can say, the twist in the history that we see. Twist or the turning point, you can say, in the history of India. So he talks about that. Everything of our freedom struggle will be there in this work. So uh, the term like civil disobedience, Gandhi's movement, and Quit India movement, also the partition rights in Punjab, and some of the talks related to the Second World War also, and of course Swadeshi movement and the British, they retreated from Rangoon, Burma, Rangoon, that was a part of India. So all those things we have in this work. So if someone asks you about the work that is based on our Indian freedom movement, that is one of them, it could be Abandoned Ganges. In the main plot line, we have the character of Devi Dayal. Devi Dayal. He is a son of a rich businessman, and he actually joins the group of the rebellions. Rebellion means the people who fought against the Britishers. First, he saved his wife from a white man. His mother, sorry, not wife, he saved his mother from a white man, and then he joined the party or the group of the the rebellions, the freedom fighters. And the white man was nothing but a soldier, a white soldier, a British soldier who was trying to molest his mother. So then he saved his mother and later he joined the rebellions. One more character we should notice, that is the Gyan Talwar. Okay, and he is also main character in this one, and he is following Gandhi's philosophy. So now you see Gandhi's philosophy is followed by Gyan Talwar, and Devi Dayal, he is among the rebellions, the people who were not following the non-violence. Okay, so that is about abandoned Ganges. Just outline we have got. Then we have next Devil's Mind. Okay, once there was a question regarding this as well. So a few words. Again, I'm saying I haven't read all these works in details. I had just gone through the words. Okay, a few words about every work. That will be sufficient because it is not possible that we will go deep into the studies of each and every work. Okay, somewhere we find interesting, there we can study even for, you can say, reading sake, but not that much required. Okay, so next, Devil's Wind or Wind, you can say, Wind I should say, 1972 it was published. Now, it is the story of Nana Sahib. You know, Nana Sahib, he was the last Peshwa. In Maharashtra, this term was quite famous, Peshwa. And then he fought against, pretty simple, we know that, against the Britishers. But what was the timeline of Nana Sahib? If you go into the history, you can check. He was during the first struggle that Indian had in the year 1857. So this work, Devil's Wind, is based on the 1857 Indian rebellion. Okay, withdraw like this, rebellion. Yes, based on that. Now, apart from this, okay, one more thing you can add, if in this work we have the a sepoy. What is sepoy? Sepoy is the term used for the Indian soldier that was working in the British Army. So, an Indian soldier or a sepoy rebelled against the British Army. That is also related to this work. Okay, so now we have one more work, that is the last one we discuss. Okay, just for reference, I am telling you, Shalimar, it was published in the year 1972. Why I have chosen? Because Shalimar, you know, there is a movie in the 1970s or 80s, and featuring, I think, Dharmendra, the main hero. So that movie is based on this work, Shalimar, 1978, written by Manohar Malgonkar. So that is all about his important works. So not that much to, apart from these works, there is nothing left, I think, that is important to talk about. So now we have several questions. So let's take these questions one by one. The first one. Manohar Malgonkar was a hunter, a lieutenant colonel in the British Army, and a tea planter. He also wrote a memorable novel about a sepoy mutiny, especially Peshwa Bajirao II. And what is that novel? So now we just discuss the Peshwa, and that is the work, not Distant Drum, not Band in Ganges, that is Devil's Wind. So in that work, I told you that the story of Nana Sahib, and of course there was the story of the second Peshwa, that is Bajirao the second. Bajirao II. That was also in this work. So Devil's Wind, published in the year 1972, is the answer for this question. Next, we have to arrange these works in the chronological order as they were published now. Let's read their names. Option A, the first work, Two Virgin. This is the work written by Kamla Markandeya. Okay, so we haven't discussed this writer. So in the next video, I think possibly we shall discuss. And that was published in the year 1973. Yes. So because when you see these questions, because sometimes you have the names of such works which we may not have heard. So the best thing is that whenever you find any name, not just the date of publication, at least go for the writer, and if possible for the main plot line or the character. That these things should be there. When you go for 3 or 4 points, at least one would be there in your mind. Okay, so Two Virgins, written by Kamla Markandeya. It is about the two sisters, the two girls, and they want to achieve higher goals in their life, and their struggle is there. The Painter of Signs. This work is actually by R.K. Narayan, and I forgot to discuss this work. Okay, not that important it is. Just once a question was there. So R.K. Narayan is the author of this work and published in the year 1976. And the main character of this work is Raman. Raman. Next is Shadow from Ladakh. This work is written by Babani Bhattacharya. We shall also talk about this writer, Babani Bhattacharya, published in the year 1966. And Abandoned Ganges, of course, we have discussed, published in the year 1964. Now, To Whom She Will. This work, honestly, I tell you, I have first time seeing this name and even the name of the author. Okay, when I checked this question on Google, so what I find, yeah, so to be honest, I'm saying, so 1955, and the writer, I never heard this name, Ruth Pravar Jabwala, something like that. So Ruth Pravar Jabwala. So these are the publication years as well as their writers. So now according to this, the first in the chronological order we have option E, To Whom She Will, and then by Babani Bhattacharya, sorry, Abandoned Ganges. So then D, and then we have C, Shadow from Ladakh from Babani Bhattacharya, and then the Two Virgins by Kamla Markandeya, and at the last R.K. Narayan's Painter of Signs. So the option 3 has to be correct. Next, now in this question we have to match the columns. So see how many you can do. I think at least 2 you should be able to do. At least 1 that is of this work, from this, that is Manohar Malgonkar, we have just discussed, and he has written the work Combat of Shadows. Then option D, Kamla Markandeya. She has written the work Possessions. So it was published in the year 1966. Okay, there is nothing about chronology, but I am telling you. Combat of Shadows we have discussed, that is in the year 1962. Okay, sorry. And the other 2 works. Babani Bhattacharya, of course, we shall discuss this writer. He has written the work The Goddess Named Gold. Babani Bhattacharya. But again, I am sorry to say that I haven't heard this name, Humayun Kabir. So on Google, I just searched before recording this lesson. So he has written the work Men and Rivers. So among the given 4 options, I would say that 1 at least we should know for correct match. If we know 2 or more, then that will be super fine. Okay. So the next question now, again that is related to the matching columns. So let's see. Now see, Here as well, I would say you must be knowing at least two or three, because R.K. Narayan we have done, Manohar Malgonkar we have done, Mulk Raj. So three writers we have done. So possibly you can give the answer. So first, Waiting for Mahatma. Who has written this? Very simple. R.K. Narayan. So A is to be matched with second option, R.K. Narayan. So many hungers. Okay, we can leave it. The Sword and the Sickle. Yes, we know. The Sword and the Sickle is written by Mulk Raj Anand. The Sword and the Sickle. And one fact I told you that time, that this title is given by the famous British novelist. The name is George Orwell. He has given this title to this work, Sword and the Sickle. And Distant Drum, we have just talked about this. It is about the personal life or personal experience of Manohar Malgonkar. So now only one is left, that is So Many Hungers. So this work goes to Babani Bhattacharya. So next after this, if we have any question, yes. Now we have, I think we have discussed this question earlier. Anyway, what is the correct chronological order of these writers according to their birth? So birth, one thing you should also remember, the writers we are doing, the novelist now we are doing almost them according to their birth in the chronological order. So okay, there may be a little change, but mostly you will find these lessons in perfect order according to their birth. So what should be the answer for this question? Okay, we have discussed Manohar Malgonkar, Mulk Raj Anand, Khushwant Singh we have to discuss. And Toru Dutt and Michael Madhusudan Dutt we haven't discussed. These are poets actually. From Bengal, they are poets. And we first see these three options, where they stand. Khushwant Singh we have to discuss, so it should be the last, D. And before that we have Manohar Malgonkar, because we are discussing, and before that we have Mulk Raj Anand. And according to the birth, if we go for the year of their birth, Manohar Malgonkar, he is born in the year 1913. Mulk Raj Anand, we discussed him earlier, so that is 1905. Toru Dutt, okay, we haven't discussed. This writer, year I think 1856. Yes, she comes 1856, and then Khushwant Singh 1915. Yes, and then Michael Madhusudan 1824. So the thing which I was telling you, that at least we have done these three writers. According to this, Mulk Raj Anand we have discussed earlier, and then Manohar Malgonkar, and then next will be Khushwant Singh. So BAD. This option, can we see in which of these options? BAD. The order BAD. Anywhere. So that is in the option C. So even if we do not know the two other writers, we can still click on the right option. So the right answer is option C. So Michael Madhusudan Dutt, that is in the 1824. They are the poets, Toru Dutt and Michael Madhusudan. So that is all about, yes, Manohar Malgonkar. So not very important writer. Just remember two or three important names. That is Abandoned Ganges, Distant Drum, Combat of Shadows, and one question was there from Devil's Wind. So that's all for this lesson. Thank you very much for watching this lesson, and have a very nice day.